Yes, welcome back. It is still the press as we go straight into our discussion this morning. And today we shall be taking a look at glitches Waec grades or glitches in Waec grades of flooding in Nigeria, analysis of the front pages of our papers. Glitched Waec grades, I beg your pardon, glitched Waec grades of flooding in Nigeria, analysis of front pages of the national dailies. I have a guest in the house. He is Umar Lamin. Yalleman is a human rights activist and a graduate from University of Maiduguri with a BSc honors in geography. Is an active politician with more than 15 years experience, as well as a social and political analyst with more than 10 years of experience. Umar, it's so nice to have you on the press this morning.
Thank you for having me on.
Yes, indeed. We're still expecting Blessing. Let's hope she joins us somewhere in the mix of our discussion, because she did promise to be here. So this morning we're taking a look at glitched Waec grades and of course flooding in Nigeria. Sometime this week we did discuss issues bordering on Waec, where we got the data that the results this year, the Waec result was the worst in 5 years. But somehow we woke up in another day and we're actually hearing that, you know, the errors actually came from Waec. The errors came from Waec. Right now there's a lot of crisis as the portal, the check portal, has been temporarily blocked. Parents and students are, you know, it's a big dilemma for them, you know, because they cannot actually check. Because Waec, fortunately, came out to let the world know that after post-analysis of the release of the results that you know, they had issues, especially with the CBT examinations on mathematics and English. Now we have a little bit of data that I would like to share with you, which I usually do, because it says that there was outrage after the West African examination council denied candidates access to its result portal for the 2025 West African Senior School Certificate Examination for school candidates following technical glitches. A statement by the head of public affairs, Waec National Office, Moise Shola Additional, revealed that the council identified bugs in its results system following a post-release review of the 2025 WASC results, which led to the access denial. The council says access to the result checker portal had been temporarily suspended, urging candidates who had previously checked their results to recheck from Friday for the updated versions, while defending its serialization method of mathematics, English, language, biology, and economics. Waec admitted that the post-release quality checks exposed technical glitches in its system. The council, being a responsive body that is sensitive to fairness and professionalism, has decided to urgently review and correct the technical glitches that led to the situation. As a result, access to the WASC 2025 result has been temporarily denied on the results checker portal. So this is going to be the first part of our discussion this morning, as once again Waec trends, and we'll take a look at what is going on, especially with the situation of students and parents unable to check the result. Like I said, you know, before the reeling out the data, on Monday Waec released this result and let Nigerians know and the rest of the world that that was the worst result in 5 years. And now we discover the error may just be from Waec. I would really want your reaction on this.
Okay, good morning, Nigerians. This is very, very unfortunate incident, and what we are going to consider about this, Waec has been a very, very good body for establishing a very standard examination in West Africa, because the body was established in 1952 to cover all English-speaking countries in West Africa, comprising Nigeria, Ghana, Gambia, Sierra Leone. This is a major, fantastic objective of Waec. And since the inception of Waec, they have been doing well in these countries for more than 5 decades. They have been doing well. So now if Waec come out with some glitches in their portal, so I think so we have to give them a benefit of doubt. You have to consider them because they have been doing a fantastic job before. So I think so, you know, in terms of the issues that are related with technology, sometimes we can get this kind of clinches because they have already complained about serializations of the papers that have been conducted.
Yes.
Yes, in the papers of biology, chemistry, biology, English, economics, and the mathematics.
Yes,
so these are very, very important subjects in Waec. So we don't want to be to get any misinformation about them. I think so what they have done now, they have done a great job, and the people can cooperate and consider them to see, because the time frame they give is only 3 days, and now today they are going to release another new result
starting from Friday,
right?
Today,
starting from today. I think so this is a fantastic job for them, and I urge people to consider them and collaborate with them so that we can get a very, very good result in our country.
But Umar, let us backstep a little bit and just take a holistic view of this. The question in the minds of a lot of people and in my mind, taking a look at the CBT examination, a lot of people argue that Nigeria is not, we're not ready yet for CBT examinations, which is the computer-based examination, bearing in mind that a lot of Nigerian youth that fall within that category, some have not even seen a computer before in their life. They are not conversant with it. What they learn is just what they learn on paper. Most schools don't have the practical experience of a computer. Now, let me use myself as an example. We are the GST. We need to pass GST.
Yes,
if you've gone through the university system, no GST, no graduation. You must pass your GST. Now, this is my first experience. I got into 100 level, and we're doing GST. And when we started learning computer studies, it was on paper.
Yes.
Umar, it was on paper.
Yes, and
the hall will be jam-packed, and you have overflow from outside. So you have to wake up early, shower. You see students, university students sitting on the floor. Look, we're like ants in hall 1 trying to learn GST. And when we were given a handout, it was on paper, because I thought that we would actually have access to a real computer, and it wasn't so. Now imagine if students, secondary school students in some schools, had what we had even at university level at that time, and you expect them to perform maximally and pass the examination. Again, the right situation in the country is one that you still need to consider. We're talking about villages, for scores that are not, that you don't have in the cities. How do you now balance that with what is happening right now? Like I said, if I go back to the question, are we ready for CBT examination as a nation? Seriously.
Yes, you must be ready for it, because this is a contemporary challenges. We are in digital world now. We cannot deflate from the digital world. I know there is a lot of problems in Nigeria in terms of infrastructure and in terms of technology, but we must adopt this system, because this is the era of digitalization. It's an era of, it's a global issue. We cannot leave Nigeria behind because of certain problems. We must adapt. I faced the same problem like yours in university. When it's my first time I sat around computer to write GST exam, but I don't know how to do it, but I have to learn. I face a lot of challenges. A lot of people has failed exam during that test, but unfortunately people are just are not putting more care and more effort to learn from that. What I think now in Nigeria, we must put more effort, invest in digital economy, invest in technology, so that technology and digital economy will be available to all Nigerians across all the borders in the Nigeria, from core to periphery, from town to villages. I think you get me. This is a fantastic, this is a great challenge, and it's challenge to the government, and it's challenge to the parent and the student. All of us, you have to come together, collaborate to find a lasting solution to this problem, because we cannot go away, run away from this problem, because now we are in digital world. We cannot go to old version of the world, which is not acceptable. I think so. Waec, they need to improve in their exercises. They need to invest more on infrastructure and invest more on innovations.
Okay, now you clarify that. Let us take a look at the body now, the council, coming out to let the world know that without proper check, why it's just like medicine after death. You release the results without investigating, without finding out the cause or causes of why, you know, the results were so poor. You post the results and it has gone viral, saying that in 5 years that was the worst result ever in Nigeria, only for you a couple of days down the road to come back to tell us, you know what, the error is actually from our side. And after post-analysis of the situation, because of the uproar that came with the results, parents, students, because if it had happened to a child from my home, I can imagine how it will happen, because in my house, children write Waec for a sitting and come out in flying colors with A's and B's, fantastic results. Same with JAM. So if a child in my house didn't come with a good result, you can imagine the pain that I would have gone through, or the child would have gone through, knowing fully well that they read. There are children or students who actually are intelligent, who read for the examination, but at the end of the day, when the results came out, alas, it was terrible. It was like a nightmare. I can imagine what homes have gone through, what parents have done to children. Oh my God. What parents have done. Parents who have invested so much on your child or your word, and the results come out terrible. I pray we don't hear any negative events coming out from the early release of the results that we now find out were errors from Waec, you know. So I'm saying that so we don't have situations like this in future. I would really want you to help analyze the situation. Waec releasing the results, saying it's the worst in 5 years in the nation, only for us to now discover that errors, for Waec to tell us that they had bugs in the system. I mean, you should have realized the bugs from the onset. You have people manning the system. You have people that are supposed to be there. Well, my point is not important as yours right now. I would really want your take on this. Waec releasing the results and coming back a couple of days after to say, you know, the error is from them.
You know, Amy, I'm not speaking for Waec, because what I realize here is that we must be patient and understand the situation, because it's better to get a good result than to get the baggage. This is they have said that this result of 2025 was a worst result in 5 years. So, and they realized later there is some clinches in their system, in their operational terms. So what I can say about it is that Waec, they must be very, very careful, because this is a very sensitive issue. Very sensitive issue that relate student result. You know, Nigerians, we are playing with a sensitive issues, especially, and Waec is not body only for Nigeria. It's West African Examination Council. So they have a lot of burden on them. So I can consider them for this mistake, because they have already admitted they made a mistake, and this mistake is coming from them. So let us wait and see which kind of result we are going to receive in today or next in few days to come. Because it is very important to see if the result is worst, like they have mentioned before. Definitely investigation must go on, because we cannot just leave you release the result in the first instant and you retrieve it because of the technical inches, and now you release another result with a bad face. Definitely people will not accept it, and there is definitely going to be a big challenge to them.
It's a big
and
challenge
yes,
indeed.
government must intervene to investigate the issue seriously.
Yes, if you just joined us, it is the press, and yes, my guest is in the house. I'm expecting another guest, so we have a balance of discussion the way we usually do it on my bit. We're taking a look at two very important topics this morning, which is glitched Waec grades and flooding in Nigeria. We're starting with the first, which is the glitched grades. Waec has given us information that they have bugs in their system. So the check portal has been closed, and this has caused a lot of crisis for the council, crisis in homes, crisis with parents and your children and wards, and it just goes on and on. Before we end the show, you have the opportunity to call in to be part of the discussion. Now, the question I want to ask is, how can Waec, in your own opinion, ensure that situations like this do not occur again? How do they check such occurrences, situation of releasing results and coming back to tell Nigerians, tell students that, you know, they had bugs in their system? Should the systems be checked before results are released? They do due diligence, due process, whatever it's called, I don't know, in the educational system, to ensure that they don't put families, students through this harrowing situation, heartbreaks and tears, crisis in the homes on their side, and of course from the flip side. What can be done to check situations like this, you think?
But what I will urge Waec to do is they have to do a proper arrangement for these examinations, because these are digital exams. Easy a simple mistake can just demoralize everything in the exams. So I think Waec must to do proper arrangement before setting these exams. They need to involve in promoting and educating students on how to write these exams, because we cannot invite somebody to computer system without adequate knowledge of that computer, without computer literacy to write exams. So definitely these are the fundamental issues. The second issue is from the side of Waec. They must invest more in the hardware program and the software programs in their side, because bringing into problems or bug the system at all is a serious problem to Nigerians and to the parent. Nobody will agree just freely that Waec has just released the result and they retrieve the results one time, they will release another result. This is unacceptable in this country. That is why I urge for government intervention, for civil society and the community leaders to intervene, so that how can all this process will be conducted freely without any hinges.
Freely and fairly.
Yes, freely and fairly without any hinges, because the exam is a serious issue. It's a very, very serious issue. If you have been caught with malpractice, there is punishment for you. For definitely, if there is a problem for Waec, definitely there is a provision for punishment for Waec. Because I think so. If this mistake is a deliberate one, they need to be investigated and be punished for it.
So what you're saying is that the investigation should go beyond just within Waec.
Yes.
External bodies.
Yes, external bodies will come in.
Because federal government should take a look at this particular situation.
Yes, because the government are investing many money in the Waec
to find out.
I think so far per student, government is paying more than 10,000 naira. So you see, there is a lot of money in the value chain. There is a lot of money invested in this program. So if there is problem in the program, definitely government must to come in and form a committee to investigate the issue if the issue is not to deliberate issues that cause the clinches, there's no problem. Anything will be resolved, so that Waec on their side to resolve issues, organize their teams very well, and the government side will be patient and the parent will be patient about it. But if the technical clinch is a deliberate one, definitely punishment will follow up, because investigation will come, then the punishment will follow up. Yes.
Okay, let us take a look at the effect on students. It's important for us, the psychological effect this would have on students and parents. Aside from the money and the time spent, the money to get the phone, pay school fees, pay external, those who took it externally, the psychological effect on students, our focus now is on students, not more on those who maybe after years want to have their school certificate and they go back to school. Let us take a look at the psychological effect this will have on students right now.
Definitely there is psychological effect, because we don't want a situation where students will be demoralized, because this is the final exam. This is the exam students, secondary school students are aiming to write, are ambitious about it. So any problem that can affect that exam definitely can affect their psychological IQ. Definitely, I see there is need for reorientation, there is need for calmness in terms of, with regard to the student, give them a training how to observe the pressure during the writing the exams, and how to cope with the tension during the exams. Definitely we don't want any psychological trauma to affect the student. So in avoiding that, parent must to come in to guardian student to engage them, so that student can understand the importance of right exam. When the situation of like this come up, they will know how to adopt the situation and to go on. And to move on.
Okay. All right. If you just joined us, we just dealt with the first part of our discussion this morning. We'll take a short break to open the phone lines. When we return, we shall be taking a look at flooding in Nigeria. Now, there's something different that we want to take a look at. Fine, if you live in the country, we've had very dire situation in some states like Adamawa, where not just at Lagos. In fact, the situation in Lagos, oh my God. I saw this video on social media where Lexus, Jeep were put on canoes and they're being rowed. That is those who live on the island. I was trying to, after seeing the video, in my heart, I was skeptical about the reality of it, saying probably was AI. No, I'm telling you, the rains this year as much, and we've had flooding. Now, fine, weather conditions you cannot predict, but our focus this morning is what man do. The man-made effect of this flooding is what we want to take a look at, because we don't have control over the elements, we don't have control over the weather, but we have control of what we do in ensuring that we do not have flooding around us. So we'll take that break. We'll open the phone lines when we return, and yes indeed, when we return we shall be taking a look at our second topic. Please call in and be part of the conversation. Stay with us. Yes, welcome back once again. It is the press and we're making progress. If you just joined us, you've missed the first part of our discussion where we took a look at glitched Waec grades. But right about now, we're taking a look at our second focus, which is on flooding. Now, the federal government, through the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency, NIHSA, as warned of impending heavy flooding in 198 local government areas in 31 states, including the Federal Capital Territory, the FCT, from Thursday to August 7th to Thursday, August 21. Now, it is important that we take a look at this as to the cause of flooding in Nigeria. Today, the warning was Lagos, Ogun, Delta, Kogi, and 11 others at risk. We've had situations where flooding has sacked communities. People in Ikorodu in Lagos State are stuck in their homes, no movement. They cannot even come out. They've sent the SOS to the Lagos State government to come to their rescue, and year in, year out, we have situations like that. Now, climate change and extreme weather events are something that will happen. We have no control over. All right, the rains will fall. Is the volume that is the problem? But there are certain man-made, events that lead to flooding in certain areas. And this morning, even though the federal government has issued out the warnings to people, we must take responsibility for the acts that we do that lead to flooding. And while I was doing my research, I was able to come up with situations like poor drainage system and blockage of drainage systems, improper waste disposal, deforestation, wood extraction, urbanization, to mention a few. So this morning we shall be taking a look at how you and I, make the matter worse by the things that we do, during the rainy season. And Umar, this is where you're coming. I've ruled out some of the things that I found out may cause flooding. One that, in fact, is an eyesore. Let me tell you an experience, and I think I'm calling out the federal government attention to this. Life camp. The roads, the president just opened those roads, which are not just that, some other roads in the FCT. Last week I was going to the market and I saw women pouring in dirt into the new gutters. They were piling corn cobs, and of course the waste from maize into the gutters. They were pouring it in. Some were throwing in bags of dirt. Some were pushing in wood planks, probably wooden planks soaked by the rain, to cross the gutters that got broken. All the dirt were put into the. Now, if you look at the visuals that we're showing today, you see them pour in used plastic pelt from soft drinks, freezer drinks, used freezer containers into the gutters. And when the rains are falling, people who have drainage or gutters in front of their houses bring out all the dirt and they pour it in, and it will go somewhere and block it. And when the rains come, there is nowhere for the water to flow. And what do you have? You see this huge, terrible situation where you have flooding and people are sacked out of their homes. And most times, if we're not careful, lives are lost. But there are other reasons that are man-made that can lead to extreme flooding, and those are the things that we want to talk about, and that's where you come in. Please, can you educate us on how man, has contributed to this very terrible flooding situation in Nigeria?
Any flood is among the most fundamental or natural disasters we used to have in the country, because flood all used to occur every year in this country. And as we have, before we go in, let us identify which types of flood we have in Nigeria. What are the causes of this flood, and what are the mitigations on this flood? We have 3 types of flood. We have pluvial flood. That is the flood that is coming when rivers water overflow the bank of the rivers. When the rivers overflow their banks, definitely water will come in and pass away to all the surrounding. Secondly, we have...
Please, Umar, just take a pause on that as we take our first call this morning. Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I'm watching your television now.
Thank you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, my name is Alaji Suleiman Igodo.
Okay. Where are you calling from?
Igodo.
In Lagos.
In Lagos, yes, go to Lagos.
Oh, that is wonderful. Please go ahead. What do you have for us today? Your contributions, please.
It's very terrible. I'm watching everything television now.
Tell us.
All the plastic, everything is blocking the drainage. It's very terrible. I'm watching it in television now.
So
What do we do about this?
what we do is to ensure that you don't put dirt into your drainage, and when you see people doing that, you stop them from doing that. That's what you do.
Yeah, they should give me instruction to the local government chairman. They have job to do.
Okay.
Local government chairman, they get what to do. To talk to them.
What about you as a Nigerian, you as a citizen, your neighbors, those women with shops, those roasting corn and...
In my area, in my CDA, we have done meeting, we have meeting, we have discussed.
That's good, that's good. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Alaji. Thanks for calling all the way from Igondo, Lagos. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Okay, so you have our first caller calling in to let us understand all the way from Lagos that the situation is terrible in this area, that all the plastic bottles are on the roads and everywhere is blocked. Okay, please, we've just been told that our other guest is here. Please let us take a short break, and when we return, more for you. Stay with us. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm glad to let you know that my other guest is in the house. Better late than never. She is Blessing C. Agu. She's a social affairs analyst, and we're happy to have her. Yes, indeed. You did say that it's the traffic, but we're glad that you eventually made it here. So you're going to be part of the conversation. We're already done with the Waec situation, the Waec crisis, and you actually met us right when we were talking about the flooding, the alarm given by the federal government, and of course the situation that it has presented to some states already in the nation. And before the break, before we ushered you in, we're taking a look, because I said our focus is going to be on the man-made effect that determines or adds to the flooding, and Umar was already trying to dissect that, but since he's been here, I want to give you the chance to just come in and give your take on some of the reasons you think we do as Nigerians that will aggravate or increase or escalate flooding in our community.
Yeah, thank you so much, and good morning, Nigerians. So let me just give a scenario, something that happened while I was coming here. And we were driving down to this place. We got to a particular junction. It was, it was clouded with water. So I was like, why is this place clouded with? Because the way the land was, it was this way. So all this side were clouded with water, and I was like, why is it like that? There's supposed to be like a gutter or something, like where water is supposed to be channeled into, and we noticed that some persons had blocked that place
where the water will pass through.
Yeah, so making it uneasy for the water to pass,
to flow. So
these are what people do. Maybe they are trying to protect their environment. They think they're trying to protect their environment, but they don't know that these issues are also escalating the flooding, right? So bringing it down to these places that have flooding issues, I feel a lot more should be done, because I know NIMET has talked about it earlier, but people are not even aware of, they are not aware of some of these issues. They are not aware that there's some of the things that are doing can really aggravate this issue.
The flooding. For
example, if you go to some of these rural areas, suburban areas that have more of these floodings, like this place in Lagos, I feel even though they are aware, or maybe due to experience, they know that, so period of time there is always flooding around this area, but many of them need to understand the consequences and need to understand the actions they can take to actually prevent this. I think that is where NIMET and NEMA and every other concerned citizens need to put in more action. It's not just about informing them earlier. We need to go down to these people and let them know, see, you throwing these things indiscriminately, discriminately is going to really cause effect.
Yes,
flooding. You blocking the drainage is going to cause flooding. We need to educate people. Like we tell people, the issues we have in Nigeria today, the issues we have around the young people, around the citizens, is illiteracy on so many issues, illiteracy on things you can actually avoid, but it's causing more issues. So we need these people to keep knowing that, oh, you just don't have to, you need to embrace some of these new innovations, that, oh, you don't just dispose things indiscriminately. You don't just, before you can do whatever, before you can even mount anything, you have to you need to ask those questions. You need to go to the relevant offices and know, is this way I'm supposed to do this? Is it going to cause any blockage?
So urbanization now is a huge problem in terms of flooding in our communities. Urbanization?
Yeah, it depends. Yes, urbanization. So the thing is, even if we're trying to do whatever, it's doing it indiscriminately that is the problem. So we just have to know what to do, how to do it. If we want to urbanize, quote and unquote, if we want to urbanize, so we need to know how to do it, and going to the agencies that would give us that advice to do it better, in order for us not to cause flooding.
Okay. So Umar, I want to ask how deforestation will lead to, because we've identified that improper waste disposal and urbanization is a huge problem. They both go hand in hand. I think we have a caller. Please, let's take that call from River State or Cross Rivers. Hello, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is George. I'm calling from Cross Rivers.
Yes, please go ahead, George.
Yeah, I want to contribute a little in the aspect of flooding. Yeah, this flooding most times is caused by negligence on the part of the government. Yes, because while we blame the citizens for not doing enough in terms of flooding, desilting, and they're throwing indiscriminately their waste, where the government fails to monitor these things effectively, these things will continue to skyrocket. It is the duty of the government to ensure that implementation of these things that we talk on radio or television are being upheld by enforcing them. When you see somebody throwing waste indiscriminately, you reprimand that person, others will learn from it. Like, okay, they can build a sort of mini or modular companies where some of these waste can be picked
on a daily basis.
Yes, anybody that have this waste, come and keep it here. The government will give you a small stipend. You will see that this thing called waste will be cleared off from the drainage, especially plastic. They will be cleared off. It is happening in some of these African countries where you see that they don't even make use of plastics. They use bottles, recycle. They recycle these things. They don't just throw them. Why can't we replicate that in Nigeria? That is one aspect of it. Secondly, we do some filling to build houses. When you go and struggle the place where water is supposed to be and some fill and fill house, what do you think that water will do? When water comes, it must have its way. So sometimes we cause this flooding because we some feel. If you want to put up some even if the government that are doing it, they go to areas that they are not supposed to build any structure in the name of, okay, it must be in Lagos, it must be in Port Harcourt, it must be in this, while other places are there. Move these structures to other areas and develop. Lagos is filled up. You will see that some of this flooding we are witnessing will be reduced.
Okay, thank you so much, George. That is George calling from Cross Rivers. We appreciate you, George, for calling in. So, Umar, I don't know if you want to react to what George has said.
Yeah, before my colleague arrived, I start explaining about the causes of this flood and the type of flood we have in Nigeria. We have fluvial flood, we have coastal flood, and we have pluvial flood. These are pluvial flood are the flood that are caused by the river. When the river overflows their banks, definitely the water will come in. The coastal flood is a situation where submarine environment submerge. Definitely people who are living in the coastal areas like Lagos, Port Harcourt, definitely there is submergence of water laying into the cities. And there is a pluvial flood which is caused by intensive rainfall. So these are the issues we are discussing. What are the causes? We discuss about urbanization. People are, because of the population growth, people are leaving rural areas, are coming to urban areas, and there is no proper procurement, or I will look at proper policy for the government in terms of urbanization and the expansion. People are building houses on the flood areas, waterways. So this is a very, very critical issue. And there is issue of waste management. There is no proper policy for waste management in Nigeria. That is why people are just throwing all this baggage on the waterways, in quarters, in drainage. And the issue of drainage system, there is no proper drainage system in Nigeria. A lot of cities, they don't have proper drainage system. These are the fundamental issues that are causing flooding. Because flood is a natural issue, but human factor can contribute more. That is the issue we have already discussed, urbanization, waste management, and the drainage blockage. Because all the people, there is need for advocacy in terms of awareness. Let National Orientation Agency come, let all Minister of Environment come, let's sanitize people on how to use their environment. Because if you are misusing your environment, you are creating more danger to yourself. See what is happening in Lagos. If you go to Lagos, you will see a lot of dustbin, a lot of baggage on the street, blocking the street, blocking the motorists to pass. So definitely this have the multiplier effect on the environment. So what I suggest, people, government must come in. And the secondly, this issue of flood is a seasonal issue. But government is not doing anything about it.
Always is like always a five-year approach.
There need for us to mitigate this issue. Government must invest more money in water resources and the agriculture, because we need more dams, we need more reservoirs, because if new dams was constructed, definitely these dams will not flood. There is a chances to and it will go other side. Whereas reservoirs was created, this reservoir is hold the water so that there is no any front for flooding and the other issues in the country. Definitely government policy is the most critical in this aspect, because lack of proper government policy affect flooding issue and affect our environment.
Please call in and be part of the conversation for the few moments we still have on the show. I'm expecting your call. Now, Blessing, you wanted to say something. You wanted to react to what Umar was saying, or what the caller, or just the last caller said.
So I would say that NIMET and NEMA, they are trying. I mean, even before last month, they kept informing that, oh, there are tendency of flood.
Yes.
Right. But I think they can actually do better. They know these places where we have tendency of flood. They should go down and work hand in hand with national orientation agencies to sensitize these people. If there are need for these people to leave that area for that period of time, that's fine. Because we saw how the number of deaths that was recorded, the number of people who are missing, I mean, these are things that could actually be avoided, right? So I think NEMA and NIMET, National Orientation Agency, every, well-meaning Nigerian should take it up, especially CSOs that are working on, climate, working on the environment and all of that. They should take it up, to themselves to make sure that we go to these strategic places, these targeted areas that have tendency of flooding, to sensitize the people, to create that more awareness. It's not just about coming online to say it that NIMET did. It's about people at that grassroots level, at that level, and they are aware. So they need to be aware, they need to understand the consequences. If there are need for us to take them out of that area for that period of time until all of this is rectified, then fine. Because life, like I keep telling people, let's stop playing politics with people's lives. Everything is not politics, and I think this looks like being playing politics with people's lives, because now we've lost over 100 and
and counting.
Even last month, more than 500 people has been lost in Niger State.
Not to talk about those displaced. Not talk about those displaced.
Those missing. So it's really crazy. A lot needs to be done. People need to put hands together and see how we can, make sure that this kind of thing never repeats itself.
Now talking about solution. Okay, we have a call. Let's quickly take that call before we go further. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
What's your name, please, and where you calling from? Nice to hear a lady's voice. Most times we have more men call on the show than we have ladies, so I'm so happy. Oh no, we lost the call. I spoke too early. Please, I want that lady to call back again and be part of the conversation. Now, talking about some of the solutions to these problems, I got some while I was doing my research. It says investing in modern drainage systems in cities and towns across Nigeria. This is one way that we can actually alleviate the problem. Let's take the call. Hello, good morning. Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Your name, please.
TV.
Yes, Captain
My name
TV.
is Abakar calling you from Gwagwalada.
Okay, Abubakar, please go ahead.
Thank you. Flooding is embodiment of water resources that have been abused. We shouldn't have been witnessing flooding year in, year out in Nigeria. Just like you just rightly mentioned, we can use the body of our water resources for irrigation, for farming, for fishing, for tourism investment. Imagine water resources will be flowing from its source, River Niger, from the Mali through Benin Republic, about 4 countries before it flowed down to Nigeria. It will continue flowing and empty itself into ocean at the delta. So we are not utilizing for even electricity generation. With this body of water, we can utilize it for national development, for farming to address issue of food security. A lot of things, but those in authority are just concerning in addressing issue of flooding emergency. When the flooding occurs, it causes the loss of life and property. They will come with billions of naira worth of emergency relief material. The business of relief material. That is what they are concerned about. The same river nature was discovered. What do we do to upgrade River Niger into what tourist attraction? So we are not doing a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Abubakar, for calling in. So you've heard the caller there give his take, and I was actually reeling out some of the solutions that I got. And it says that new drainage channels need to be built, and existing ones expanded and improved. Educating communities about proper waste disposal and recycling must be done. People should be encouraged not to dump waste into drains, gutters and water bodies. Regularly cleaning and dredging existing drainage channels and waterways to remove built-up waste and debris. Some of what our guests here have said. This will allow for the free flow of water again, improving and enforcing laws against illegal dumping of waste. Harsher penalties can deter people and businesses from clogging up drains and polluting waterways. Do you think we need to get to the point where we need to start giving penalties, sharing it like TomTom and sharing it like sweets to people to deter them from dumping refuse and waste into the drainage, because that again is one of the deterrent or provision to ensuring that there is a solution to man-made causes of flooding.
Yes, so I thank you for that question. I know some CSOs that use it as a form of incentive. When you pick some of this waste, they buy it from you. You pick and then you give it to them. They buy it from you, and a lot of people have been, doing that,
making money.
Yes, making money from that. The CSOs are making money from that. The people who are supplying these debts to them are also making money from that. I feel the government can utilize that aspect. I know.
Yes, Umar said something. Yes.
Yeah. So the government can look at it from the angle. We sensitize, because people, especially with the economy and the whole situation that is on ground, young people will be willing to want to, oh, can I give this debt to get something? They are going to be willing to want to put in their energy to help clean the environment and get something
back as a reward.
So I don't think even though I want to say let there be harsh punishment, but let's put in an incentive first and see if it doesn't work. Then of course we can go for the other arm.
Now, when we're talking about harsh penalties, what do you do to people living in areas where you have clogged waterways, where you have, once the rains come, in fact, if you look at some of the visuals that we actually are showing right now on the screen, you will see roads covered with you can see it, covered with waste. Once the rains come, people actually dump this waste in their gutters, though the waters. Sometimes when you go to meet the people in the areas where you have the build up, they'll tell you they weren't the ones who did it, that it flowed down the drain and ended up in front of their houses. Do you think that giving out penalties is the way to go to ensure that we put a stay to this situation?
I think so. Before going to the penalty, we have to consider some aspect on this issue, because urban centers are centers with a high level of awareness and education, but in terms of environmental sanitation, rural areas are more better than urban areas, because the community engagement in rural areas is more powerful than community engagement in the urban areas. You will find a very large area in urban area without committee, without people engaging themselves to sanitize their environment.
Without any check.
Without any check. But in the rural areas, we'll see that people are having committees by section of the area. People are coming together, sanitize their area. If you see a lot of flood that are affecting rural areas, it's not just it's not for intense coastal flood or something. Is in case of intensive rainfall, intensive precipitation is causing the flood, not the issue of blockage, not the issue of, because in the rural areas there's not even drainage, but these people, they keep trying to sanitize their environment. But if you come back to the urban centers, look at the way people are living in the urban centers. Everybody is living for his own. Now, there's no committee. I think so penalty will not save the problem. Government policy, let us revive our environmental sanitation policy that is existing before. Let government revive it and just implement it, so people will face the warrant of the law and will face the consequences.
Okay, so as we round up, what do you have to say now to the people, because we're taking a look at man-made, we're rounding up, we don't have enough time anymore. So Blessing, I want you to take on this as you round up with last take to Nigerians and of course the government. Okay,
to my Nigeria, please, I'm going to speak vernacular. So I beg people, we Nigerians, make una take environment and flooding very, very serious.
Very serious.
It is very, very concerning to see safe flooding, something where we feel avoid can actually kill people. So avoid it. When you are informed, say, oh, so month there is tendency of flooding, and say from your own power feel mitigate them. You feel just avoid them in order for you not to be a victim, right? In order for you not to just go missing. So my people, avoid throwing things indiscriminately, not just they dispose things anyhow. Just arrange them and then give them to people that
when they buy them.
Yes, people go even buy them. There are a lot of people out there will go buy them from you. So now, so I want advise you not throw things indiscriminately and avoid when you hear say floods they come your area. If you are living in places like is it Lekki Abi is where those places.
Yes.
I beg when say
Korodu area, Lekki. Yes. Okay.
Just come
on. So Umar, just 60 seconds in Hausa. Please, what you have said, can you replicate it in Hausa to the people as a round up? We don't have time anymore.
To abinda ake magana shine ya kamata mutane su mai da hankali akan tsaftar muhalli, dan tsaftar muhalli shine rayuwa. In baka tsaftace muhallinka ba, ka sa kanka a cikin matsala da kuma damuwa ta rayuwa. A daina jefa abubuwa na lemo da waye cikin kwatoci, ana blocking din kwatoci, kuma ya kamata mutane suna fitowa duk ranar Asabar for sanitation.
Thank you so much. So you heard from my two guests. Please, there are man-made reasons why we also have situations where the flooding gets out of hand, and that is was our focus today. Please do all you can to ensure that you're not one of the reasons why people are sacked from their homes and eventually their loss of lives. We thank those who called in to be part of the show. I thank my guests this morning, Blessing and Umar, for taking the time to come, especially Blessing, who despite the traffic still made it here. Well, I appreciate you so much. So that is the show today. Next week is another date on the press, Monday to Friday. Make sure you keep your phones ready so you can call in and be part of the conversation. My name is ANIRE BINITIE. As I sign out, I say stay blessed and keep your head up. Bye for now.